Hello, baseball fans. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the eighth inning stretch. I'm AJ. He's Carson. Apologies, we're on a little late. In case you guys have missed it, producer Tasha and I are on the East Coast. We're in Boston right now. So Carson just pointed out that I'm the one with the time difference weirdness right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like today I have to kind of drop my ass and talk like a native Bostonian and take some advice from John Krasinski and Chris Evans
Oh
in the
man,
Hyundai commercial from a few years ago.
the Hyundai commercial. Which one was that?
The Smart Pack in the Super Bowl
Oh yeah. I remember that now.
with the
Yeah,
cameo
yeah,
from
yeah,
Big
yeah, yeah.
Papi himself. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that now. Yeah. Yes, fun fact, everybody. Not everyone here talks like they're an extra in Good Will Hunting. You guys have seen too many movies. Some of us do. I do when I've had a couple of adult beverages. Or, occasionally you'll hear me drop a Wicked or anyways, so yeah, what matters is we're here. You're gonna unfortunately get an abbreviated version of the show today, but hey, that's better than no show at all. So Carson, let's get right into this stuff. And we need to start with a shout out to Ketel Marte, who has joined the 1000 hit club.
Yeah, if I don't think you're going to find much bigger fans of Ketel Marte than the two of us, and
Nope.
obviously a very cool. We talk about it every time, but 1,000 hits in a major league career is not something that's easy to hit.
No, 1,000 hits is a big deal. I mean, when you think about, Ketel Marte he's been around for a little while, but obviously. But yeah, 1,000 hits that's I don't know. It's weird because 1,000 hits you go. 1,000 of anything is a lot, but 1,000 hits, like, folks, I don't know, Carson, where you come down on this, but I've always thought hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports.
I think there's certainly a case to be made for it. Absolutely. I mean, you got different pitches, you got different speeds. Every pitcher's got a little bit of a different windup. There's so many things that go into, and there's a lot of mechanics overall that just go into hitting a baseball.
Yeah, and you've got to get your timing just right. Yeah, hitting a baseball is I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure some of you could probably think of other I'm not saying there aren't other hard things to do in sports, because there are, but hitting a baseball is not easy. It's one of the hardest things to do in sports. So to do that 1,000 times, and the other kind of mind-blowing thing to think about, Carson, is with baseball and with hitting especially, you're considered a good hitter if you hit the ball a third of the time you're at the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're considered one of the greatest hitters, like,
What
in
other
the game.
what other sport? I can't think of another sport where if you're only successful a third of the time, that's considered successful.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's like shooting a basketball with a 33% field goal percentage. Like,
That's not good.
You're trash.
Well, unless you're shooting 33% from 3-point range.
True, good point.
But yeah, no, shooting a basketball, if you're, I don't know, a hockey player and you only score on a third of the shots you take, or quarterback in football only compete. Yeah, that might be the best example. If you're a quarterback in football and you only complete 33% of your passes, you're not going to be a quarterback for long. So,
God no.
But anyways, a huge shout out to Ketel Marte. Like Carson said, you'd be hard pressed to find two bigger fans of him than us, and 1,000 hits is impressive. So, yeah, good for him. So we were going to lead off the show talking about the Oakland A's and how they have failed the fans again. And then Carson, somewhat of a somewhat of a breaking story broke last night or yesterday afternoon, I guess. Um, so obviously we've been talking a lot about pitchers getting hurt and um, there's been so many pitcher injuries last year, but this year seems even worse. And the Players Association, now that Spencer Strider and Spencer Strider of the Braves underwent an MRI and is waiting, is going to have further evaluation on his arm. Shane Bieber of the Cleveland Guardians, sounds like he's headed for Tommy John surgery. Lucas Giolito from my Red Sox. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There's been Scherzer, Verlander, Sandy Alcantara. The list just goes on and on and on of these pitchers that are hurt. And the MLBPA, through Tony Clark, issued a statement. They think they have the answer. They're blaming it on the pitch clock.
Yeah, and this is an argument that we've definitely talked about before, and this is something that we've brought up, is that potentially the pitch clock is making pitchers rush through things, not able to fully get their mechanics and everything straight. But no matter what it is, I think AJ, you and I can both agree there's a problem.
Yes.
In Major League Baseball right now, whether it's the pitch clock or some other force. I don't know what it is, but we got to figure out what's going on. And because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, AJ, but I don't recall seeing injuries pile up this early on in a season.
No, I mean, so what, last year was the first year of the pitch clock, right? So,
right.
Yeah, I don't remember. No, not just since the pitch clock went in, but I don't ever remember pitcher injuries, stacking up piling up this quick. And I don't think it's just the pitch clock. A while ago we talked about the team doctor for the Rangers, I think, had come out and basically said that it was what he was seeing. I mean, what he was seeing was that these pitchers, and this is true, and this is, I mean, all you have to do is watch a game, folks, to see this, that pitchers are going out there and they're I think it seems, Carson, that it's become more of a pitchers aren't really pitching per se anymore. They're going out there and they're throwing whatever pitch it is, they're throwing it as hard as they can. And a lot of that has to do with teams putting an emphasis on that. But yeah, we've got a big problem, baseball fans. Big problem, big, huge problem. These pitcher injuries are out of control. And it's not just obviously, Carson, a lot of the A-listers have been hurt, but this is a problem for pitchers in general, not just the only ones we're hearing about are the A-listers, your Verlanders, your Scherzers, your Shane Biebers, whoever. But this is a problem for pitchers in general.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that really, I don't think anybody obviously wants to see. And I'm very intrigued to see if there's any kind of major I'm sure there will be some other developments with this. I'm sure that there will be more injuries that'll start to come out. But I think the big thing for me too, AJ, the biggest concern I have is that a lot of these guys are, it's not it's not like they're going on the 15-day IL and then coming back.
No,
it's a lot of these guys are missing the rest of the season.
Yep. They're either missing the rest of the season, or, I mean, how many pitchers did we talk about, at the beginning of the season who aren't going to be, they're either missing the season or they're not able to start the season on time. Some of these guys aren't going to be able to, if at all, some of these guys aren't even going to be able to pitch until, May, June, July, halfway through the season. It's ridiculous. It's out of control. Major League Baseball and the Players Association, I I mean, I guess we should be glad that the Players Association has said something about this, because we haven't heard squat from Major League Baseball. But I got to be honest, I'm not really a fan of the, oh, it's the pitch clock. Like, I mean, all you have to do, I'll just read Tony Clark's thing real quick because it's short. So this is from yesterday. Despite unanimous player opposition and significant concerns regarding health and safety, the commissioner's office reduced the length of the pitch clock last December, which they did. It's down to like 18 seconds when there's not a runner on base, and 20. I forget exactly what it is, but just one season removed from imposing the most significant rule change in decades. True. Since then, our concerns about the health impacts of reduced recovery time have only intensified. True. Because pitchers they have less time in between pitches to sort of, rest their arm, I guess. The league's unwillingness thus far to acknowledge or study the effects of these profound changes is an unprecedented threat to our game and its most valuable asset, the players. Yeah, I mean, he makes some good points. This is only year 2 of the pitch clock, and yes, they did shorten the pitch clock, which Carson, you and I both thought was a dumb idea. No, I don't know what needs to happen, and I guarantee we haven't heard the last of this, but something needs to happen. Something needs to change. Having players drop with injuries at this alarming rate is, obviously it's not good for the players. It's not good for the teams. It's not good for the fans. It's not good for baseball. It's not good for anyone.
No, absolutely not. And like you said, something's got to give, and it's
Yes.
only a matter of time before something does.
Yeah. So, anyways, that'll be interesting. We'll obviously, we'll keep you guys updated on the latest on that story, because I guarantee we haven't heard the last of that. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So we were going to talk about the A's. We were going to lead with the A's, but we'll talk about them now. So officially, it sounds like, Carson, the Oakland A's, this season will be the last season in Oakland. Obviously, they're moving to Vegas, but still a lot up in the air with the stadium plan in Vegas. They haven't even secured the funding for the stadium in Vegas yet. So John Fisher's bright idea, ladies and gentlemen, is to have the Oakland A's play at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, which, oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, home of the AAA River Cats, starting next year. Carson, when I heard about this, the first thing I thought of was well, maybe not the first thing, but one of the first things I thought of was this seems strikingly familiar to the Phoenix/Arizona Coyotes playing at a college arena in the NHL.
Yeah, and somehow one situation is so much worse than the other, because at the end of the day, the Oakland Athletics are a joke.
Yes.
And I say that not meaning it towards any of the fan base, any of the
No.
players that play
Nope.
on the team. This, I'm talking strictly from the front office perspective. They are a joke. I mean, all of the headlines that have come out about the Oakland Athletics, not only this, but sending down Esteri Ruiz, which was the dumbest decision. And then there was also, this is a team that has also, as I mentioned in our last episode, turned off replies to their posts on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter.
Yep.
Which
that was a good one.
Which, boy, that really says a lot about how people feel about you if you're turning off replies. And then the fact that they're playing at a AAA ballpark. I mean, At least it's not like the attendance is. At least they're gonna be used to playing in it from an attendance perspective because nobody wants to go to these games. But
Yeah,
John Fisher, you suck.
yeah, he does. And like the most, yeah, no, in case you guys missed the latest issue of Two Strike Count, which you could go to eighthinningpod.com and subscribe to, by the way. If you guys missed the last issue, I actually talked about this, and I talked about how the A's playing in a minor league park, in a AAA park, Carson, is actually kind of fitting because the Oakland A's haven't resembled a major league team in any way, shape, or form for years now.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's just it's honestly just sad.
It
Um,
really is. I
and and like you
that
said, there the similarities between the Coyotes and the A's situations, there are similarities there, but the A's situation is just so
it's
much
so much worse.
drastically different. At
Yes,
least the Coyotes are trying to fight to stay in Arizona.
Arizona. Yeah,
Granted, it's a fight that they're being aided by Gary Bettman because he refuses to let it die. But at least they're fighting. At
yeah,
least the at least they're not
and
a fan base who is crying up to the heavens only for it to go in one ear and out the other.
yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, no, the Coyote situation is better in almost every way, even though it's still not ideal. But um, yeah, this A's thing, and I don't know how many of you saw. I didn't see it live, but I saw John Fisher's press conference. I think he was in Sacramento, and talking about how excited he is and all this other, and of course Rob Manfred came out and, oh yeah, we're so, thanks to Sacramento, and thanking the Sacramento Kings, who are the majority owners of the River Cats, and oh, we can't wait to see the A's. Really? Did I miss something here, Carson? They're happy and excited for one of the charter members of the American League, one of the most storied franchises in baseball history, to play in a AAA park.
Yeah, AJ, this reminds me of you know that meme where it's like the guy has an angry face but then has a mask in front of his face that has like the smiley face.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of what this feels like. It's that they're like,
yeah,
"Oh
yeah,
crap, we have to play in a AAA ballpark," but they have to say they're excited because this means that things are moving in the right direction as far as going to Vegas.
and they haven't even secured the funding for Vegas, for a stadium. Like there's, yeah. I mean, they say that, so supposedly they're only going to play in Sacramento for 2 years, but yeah, call me crazy, but I think this is just going to turn into a whole thing, and it's going to get even worse. And the biggest losers in all of this are A's fans. And I honestly, I I can't even begin to describe how bad I feel for A's fans. So yeah, so that's a whole mess. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, here we go again, everybody. More stadium drama. So Kansas City voters soundly defeated a ballot measure that would have funded a new stadium for the Royals, as well as significant renovations to Arrowhead Stadium where the Chiefs play. Um, but the only silver lining out of this is the Royals owner, at least for now, Royals owner John Sherman, Carson, has said he's open to a solution. So it sounds like at least there's going to be a dialogue between the Royals and the city of Kansas City.
Yeah, but AJ, am I missing something? Because I feel like Kauffman is, from what I've heard, a beautiful stadium. Like, am I missing something here?
I think the problem with Kauffman is that it's old. Um, it was built in like the early 70s. It's 50-ish years old. I think that's the issue. But my thing about this is, Okay, so there are certain ballparks that are untouchable in my mind, Carson. Fenway is obviously one of them. Wrigley Field is another. Kauffman Stadium, and Dodger Stadium. Those four stadiums are untouchable. And in three of those cases, Fenway, Wrigley, and Dodger Stadium, the teams and the ownership have spent money rather than trying to build some shiny new monstrosity mega stadium. The ownership in those three teams, for the Red Sox, the Cubs, and the Dodgers, have invested significantly in renovating and updating and basically making sure that they'll be able to play in those stadiums for as long as the team exists. Why can't Kansas City do the same thing? Why are they trying to build some new downtown stadium?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Makes
I
no
get the
sense.
point. Then yes, Kaufman's a little bit older, but from what I've seen on like social media and like from the pictures I've seen,
It's
it looks
beautiful.
like a gorgeous stadium. Like
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's iconic.
yeah, like sure, like if it's that old, maybe just do some modernizations, I guess, but like
Yep.
it looks like a beautiful stadium.
I mean, you've got the iconic the crown shaped video board and the fountains and yeah, I've never heard a bad word from fans that have gone to a game at Kauffman. Ever. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would be the better way to go. So I guess we'll keep an eye on that too. Man, I there's too much of this stadium drama stuff. Hey, billionaires, if you're listening, you're billionaires. You want to keep your team, you want a new stadium, or you want to update your existing stadium, spend the money yourself. Stop trying to squeeze money out of the taxpayers. And yes, I know that the city that hosts your team, I know the city reaps financial and financial benefits because people are coming to the city and spending money while they're there to see a game. But yeah, stop trying to squeeze the taxpayers for money for your new stadiums. Um it's just it's a dick move. Yeah, knock it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. Um it's I promise I won't go on a rant about that, but yeah, I feel very strongly about team owners trying to squeeze money out of taxpayers to build some, yeah. Now I won't go on a rant about that because we don't have time, but yeah, that's another rant for another time. You are listening to the Eighth Inning Stretch. We're live here every Sunday on YouTube, Twitter, X, and Twitch. You can also catch us Mondays on demand wherever you get your podcasts at Linktree/Eighth Inning Stretch. Don't forget to follow us on Eighth Inning Pod on Twitter. And for more, including our newsletter/blog, Two Strike Count, which you can get delivered right to your inbox every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by subscribing, head to eighthInningPod.com. And if you're so inclined, support the show either using the QR code in the top corner if you're watching this, or going to eighthInningPod.com/donate. All right. All the drama out of the way. And this is, I have to be honest with you guys, this is the thing I really wanted to talk about today. I've really wanted to talk about this since the news broke. Larry Lucchino, Carson, longtime president of the Red Sox, as well as president of the Orioles and the Padres, sadly passed away this past week at the age of 78. And real quick, I just want to rattle off Larry's resume here. So he was president of the Orioles from 88 to 93 and oversaw the construction of Camden Yards. He was the Padres president from 95 to 2001 and oversaw the construction of Petco Park, as well as helping build the team that went to the Padres team that went to the World Series in 1998. But probably most well known for his tenure with the Red Sox. 2002 to 2016. And these are just a few of the things he did as president of the Red Sox. He hired Theo Epstein in 2002. I think that worked out pretty well. He dubbed the Yankees the Evil Empire. He's the one we have to thank for that. After they signed Jose Contreras. He oversaw renovations to keep the Red Sox at Fenway, kind of what I was just talking about. He oversaw the construction of their spring training park down there in Fort Myers, JetBlue Park, which is probably easily one of the most beautiful, picturesque spring training parks there is. The Red Sox won 3 World Series titles during Lucchino's tenure. He was the co-owner of the Red Sox AAA team and moved them from an old, rundown, dilapidated stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, to the new Polar Park in Worcester, Mass. And he was the Jimmy Fund chairman from 2016 until his passing. For those of you who don't know, the Jimmy Fund is the Red Sox foundation that raises money for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. So not only was Larry Lucchino a giant in the baseball world, he did a lot of stuff, a lot of charity work. Yeah, I was obviously I was pretty upset when I heard about Larry Lucchino, Carson. But this is just, I mean, this is one hell of a resume.
Yeah, absolutely. He did so much good in, not only obviously on the diamond, building 3 World Series championship teams, but off of it as well, doing so much good for the community, and was part of, like you said, co-owner of AAA, and was really an instrumental piece of the Red Sox for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, not to take away from what he did with the Orioles and the Padres, because I mean, you can't overlook the fact that he helped build, helped build, get Camden Yards built, which is, one of the, again, talk about a beautiful stadium. And Petco Park, same deal. You obviously can't overlook what he did with the Orioles and the Padres, but I mean, this Red Sox resume alone, and I would, Carson, I would make the case based. I mean, his Red Sox resume alone to me is Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
I know they have the Hall of Fame has a special category for executives, I think, right?
I believe they do, yes.
Yeah, because obviously he's not getting in, he was not getting in as player. In fact, I don't think he ever played, but yeah, seriously, I don't know how it happens. I don't know how this needs to happen, what needs to happen, but Larry Lucchino needs to be in Cooperstown as a as what's the word? What's the word I'm trying to think of? They do it in hang on. Let me look this up real quick. I forget what it's called, but they do it for yeah, Hall of Fame executives. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they do have a thing for they do have a thing for executives. It doesn't look like there are a lot of executives in the Hall of Fame. But whoever is in charge of this is happens to be listening, Larry Lucchino needs to be in Cooperstown. His impact on baseball alone, and everything he did, is more than Cooperstown worthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100% agree.
So, And obviously, would want to pass along our thoughts and prayers and condolences to the Keenan family. But yeah, no, that needs to happen. I don't know how it needs to happen. I don't know what needs to happen for it to happen, but it needs to happen. Yeah, like yesterday. It probably should have happened already, but it especially needs to happen now. Yeah. All right. Wow, we really did get through all that. Go us. All right, let's play some buy or sell. Starting off buy or sell. The Phillies unveiled their City Connect uniforms, and they are certainly a choice. So Carson, buy or sell the Phillies City Connect uniforms.
Sell. I hate these so much.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I hate them. Like they just look
Yeah.
weird.
Yes. Actually, the first thing I thought when I saw them is they look like the Philadelphia Union jerseys.
Yeah, kind of.
They look like soccer. They look like not to pick on soccer, but they look like soccer jerseys. Yeah, I'm sorry. Where? So apparently, because I had to look this up, I'm like, where did they even get this color scheme? Apparently, it's a tribute to the city's flag. The city flag of Philadelphia, and something to do with the city's Swedish heritage or something, which is all well and good, but all the other teams, everyone else's City Connect jersey has had some sort of, either has the team's color scheme or, some other, yeah, no, I hate them. I'm with you, Carson. I'm selling these all day. They could have done so much better with these. And apparently fans feel the same way because everything I've seen on social media, yeah, people are not impressed by these. So, you screwed up, Phillies, unfortunately. Seen a lot of comparisons between Mookie Betts and Bryce Harper lately. So Carson, buy or sell that Mookie Betts will end up having a better career than Bryce Harper.
Oh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna say I buy this because right now I think Mookie Betts is in a better position, and I mean you could certainly make the argument that he potentially already has. I mean he's a two-time World Series champion, and Bryce has got none because he wasn't on the Nationals when they won the World Series. So, I think you could certainly make the argument that he already has a better career than Bryce Harper. So, I'm going to go ahead and buy this.
I mean, I love me some Mookie, big Mookie Betts fan, even after he left my Red Sox. But I don't know, man. Bryce Harper has had a hell of a career, and I'm selling this because I think when all is said and done, when both of them, when both of these guys are done playing, if you put their career side by side, yeah, Mookie has the 2 championships. I don't think it's crazy to say that Bryce Harper will have at least a couple rings when he's done. I think the Phillies will get there here in the next few years. So no, I think when all is said and done, I think Bryce Harper ends up having the better career when both of these guys are done playing. So sell. Next up, the Red Sox. Carson, buy or sell? The Red Sox have a better shot at a wild card spot than the Angels.
I'm
Careful how you answer this.
I am walking a very tightrope.
Yes, you are.
I mean, I feel like I've been talking trash on the Angels for forever, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy this because I 110% believe it. I mean, the Angels are the Angels. They're gonna find a way to mess it up because they're the Angels.
Because they always do.
Exactly. So 100% I buy that the Red Sox have a better shot at a wild card spot.
Yeah, I mean the Angels are off to a good start. I mean both teams are off to a good start. They're actually, they're playing each other right now. Um, I I this is the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm gonna say neither on this. I think they both have an equally. Now, had we talked about this before Trevor Story uh destroyed his shoulder, apparently, I would have, well, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'll buy it because the Angels are the Angels and they will find a way to screw it up. Sorry, Angels fans, but good on you. Uh, I've actually been, Carson. I think we all thought, okay, Shohei Ohtani's gone. The Angels are just going to fall apart. They're actually off to a really good start, and we know they're going to screw it up, but I've been pretty impressed with the Angels so far, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I'm impressed with their
I've been,
resilience, especially after
yeah.
losing Shohei, and
I mean,
shout out to the Angels.
yeah, to lose a generational superstar like that, yeah. I've been pleasantly surprised with them. All right. Last but not least, so we've seen what, two starts, I think, out of Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. We've seen a couple of starts for Shota Imanaga. So Carson, buy or sell that Shota Imanaga will end up being a better signing than Yamamoto.
I have been thinking a lot on this one because I got the pleasure to watch Shota Imanaga's major league debut against the Rockies.
Crushed it.
Um, and granted, it was the Rockies, but
Sorry, Rockies
um,
fans.
sorry, Rockies fans, but your team's garbage. I think you know this. Um, but the thing that I was most impressed with Shota Imanaga was not just that he was getting a bunch of guys to strike out AJ, but there were a lot of swings and misses that were
Mm-hmm.
happening,
Yep.
which is very impressive. With that being said,
Mm-hmm.
I have to sell this because I
Mm.
still think that, yes, Yamamoto has encountered a little bit of, I don't know necessarily want to say culture shock, but little bit of struggles early on in his major league career, but at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, at the end of the day, I think that he's going to have more longevity in
Mm.
MLB because we got to think about it too. Shota Imanaga is, I believe, he's 30 years old already, coming over in
Mm.
his quote unquote rookie year
Yeah.
here in Major League Baseball. So I think we're just going to see longer longevity out of Yamamoto, more years over here.
Mm.
So I'm going to go ahead and
Mm.
sell this one.
That's a good point. I actually didn't think about that. Um, yeah, I'm tempted to buy this. Um, because honestly, Shota Minaga has impressed me more than Yamamoto has so far. Um, but yeah, the age thing is a big thing. Um, yeah, I think I have to reluctantly sell this. Um, that being said, I think Shota Imanaga is going to have himself, I mean, he's basically already had a career in Japan, and now, he's got his, yeah, 30 is a bit old, to come over, but I still think Shota Imanaga is going to have a hell of a career here in MLB, even if it is, as short as it might be. Um, yeah, I think Yamamoto, because I'll be honest, you convinced me. I was gonna go with Imanaga until you brought up the thing about age and longevity. Yeah, Yamamoto is, barring injuries and whatever else, is probably just gonna, pitch longer, um, just by virtue of that. So, all right, everybody, that is buy or sell. It's time for the mailbag. So something a little bit different for the mailbag this time out. We asked you guys to send in your opening week hot takes, and boy, did you guys come through. So let's just go through these. Megan T says, I guess we'll do kind of a, like, buy or sell or agree or disagree with these, Carson. Megan T says Tariq Skubal, which by the way might be my new favorite baseball player name, will be a Cy Young finalist.
I mean, right off the bat, Megan is coming in with a scorcher of a take.
Yeah, that is scorching hot.
That is a scorcher of a take. Now, as someone who has Tariq Skubal in his fantasy baseball team, I would very much like for this to happen, especially considering I just lost Shane Bieber for the season. But I don't know. For right now, I gotta disagree. I think there's too much competition still in the AL. I still think that there are some elite names that are going to contend for that award. I think that Tariq Skubal will certainly get some looks, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to be a finalist.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's too much competition. That being said, I would not be surprised at all. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. Grace G, the Pirates will make the playoffs and compete for the NL Central.
I feel like a bit of a negative Nelly here, but Grace, I'm sorry, I got to disagree with you. I know, I really don't want to disagree, but AJ, I feel like I'm back in 2023. I feel like it's deja vu all over again. The Pirates get off to a super hot start, and then everything comes crumbling down. So while I do say for now disagree, the argument could also be made that it is way too early on in the season to tell. Give me a little bit more time. Let's see if the Pirates can keep this consistency going. Then maybe I'll change my mind.
Yeah, that's why these are hot takes. Grace, I'm with you. I think this. I mean, yes, I know we saw this movie in 2023, like Carson said. This is not the same Pirates team as last year. I think they did what they needed to do over the winter to improve. I mean, as long as they stay healthy, because they obviously had some injury issues last year that contributed to their downfall. Yeah, as long as they stay healthy, and who knows, we may see Paul Skenes at some point. Yeah, no, I think the Pirates are, well, I think they'll make the playoffs. As far as competing for the NL Central, maybe. Henry V says the Marlins and Mets should be hitting the panic button.
I 110% agree with you, Henry. It is especially in Miami right now, it is a 5-alarm fire. It is the scene from SpongeBob where all of the SpongeBobs are running around and everything is on fire. My God, the amount of talent that is on that team, for them to be 0-9 right now is terrifying. The Mets, though, we can't forget about the Mets in this situation. They should absolutely be hitting the panic button. And again, maybe part of this vitriol for this particular player comes from the fact that I have him on my fantasy baseball team. But Francisco Lindor, get it together at the plate, my guy. Like, you're hitting .038, 1 for 26 right now. Get it together. This team needs you to hit the ball.
Yeah, no, the Marlins, yes. The Marlins should absolutely be hitting the panic button. Hey, Marlins, this is what happens when you let Kim Ng walk out the door. You're cursed. You jinxed yourselves. By letting one of the best executives in baseball just, because you wanted to put, you wanted to hire a president of baseball operations to put above her. Stupid. The Marlins absolutely should, but Kirsten, we kind of, sorry, Mets fans, but we kind of knew the Mets weren't going to be very good.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of had an inkling that.
I don't know if the Mets should be hitting the panic button. I think the Mets are about exactly where they should be. Sorry, Mets fans.
Well, and I guess AJ, here's kind of my thing is that like I know for me, I did predict them to be third in the National League to finish out the season. What I did not predict is the fact that they would start said season 2-6, tied with the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But hey, at least they're not in last place like the Marlins. Oh boy.
Somebody get my man Luis Ariz out of there.
Yeah, right. I think it's a safe bet that he will not finish the season as a Miami Marlin. Greg W. Bobby Witt Jr. should win AL MVP.
You know, Greg, this one intrigued me because you had me until the word "should" was thrown in there. You had me up until then. If it was could win AL MVP, I'd be all for it. But the fact you put "should" in there, I'm gonna disagree with you.
Yeah, I think so too. Should win it? No. Could win it? Yes. I certainly think Bobby Witt Jr. will be in the conversation. So, sticking in the AL Central, Christine R. The AL Central is a 4-team race. Sorry, White Sox fans.
Yeah, but why you got to remind me of the pain that I'm going through right now, Christine? Come on. But in all honesty, 100% agree. This division is usually let's face the facts here, AJ. This division's usually a crapshoot. It's usually one team and then everybody else. But
emphasis on crap.
Yeah, emphasis on the word crap, because my God. But
I mean, it was arguably the worst division in baseball last year.
Absolutely. But as a Twins fan, this is the day that I have feared for at least a couple of years, where the Royals and the Tigers are going to be good again. And that's a scary thought. And I mean, but yeah, I think right now this is absolutely a 3-team race. Or 4-team race, excuse me. 100% agree with Christine.
How about those Cleveland Guardians at 7-2 to start the season?
Shout out Stephen Vogt, early AL Manager of the Year.
Yeah, I could see it. Bob P. The Angels will be buyers at the deadline.
Let's not go crazy here, Bob. Like the Angels are a game back of the division lead, 8 games in. Let's not go crazy here.
No,
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with Bob on this one.
Yeah, for now. We'll see how long it takes the Angels to angel things up, and be back in the cellar of the AL West. But yeah. Ryan M. Someone other than the Dodgers or Braves will win the National League.
You know, Ryan, I like it.
Yep.
I like it a lot. I mean, considering I also predicted
take.
Absolutely. Considering I also predicted the Cincinnati Reds to win the NL, of course I like it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with Ryan here.
Yeah. I do too. Especially, I mean, hopefully not, but especially if the Braves lose Spencer Strider, for any significant amount of time. I think that puts a big dent in the Braves, obviously. And last but not least, Lori C. Jung-Hoo Lee is the NL Rookie of the Year.
Now, see, Lori, this one intrigues me because the statement itself of "is the NL Rookie of the Year" does that
I think she means right so far. Yeah, I think that's what she's going for.
Okay, I kind of assumed that that's what Lori was going for here.
I think that's what we're going for.
But you know what they say about assuming things. So
yes,
I mean, right now, I think I have to agree. The team, on the other hand, not doing so hot. But so far, Jung-Hoo Lee has looked as advertised.
Yeah, no, he really has. Rookie of the Year so far, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. Although, admittedly, nobody else is coming to mind. So, Yeah, maybe. I mean, I definitely think if he keeps it up, he'll be in that conversation, come the end of the year. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for your hot takes. Again, like always, you guys came through big time. Those were certainly some hot takes from opening week. And don't forget, if you want a chance to get your mailbag message read on the show, drop us a line at eighth-inning-pod.com/mailbag or at eighth-inning-stretch@gmail.com, and we just might read your message on an upcoming episode. All right, I know we're coming up against it a little bit on time here. I think we did have some must-watch games. All right. So we can do must-watch games, or we can do a quick one last thing.
Ooh, well, I mean, granted, if we do must-watch games, I'm not sure I have a tankathon, if that influences
Fair
the
enough.
decision at all.
Yeah, I put that on there. I wasn't sure if it was too early to have the tankathon. Yeah, you know what?
Still gotta work out the tweaks with the new schedule, figuring out where exactly the line ends as far as a series classifying for a tankathon.
That's fair. Yeah, let's skip over the must-watch games. We'll do a quick one last thing. So some of you probably saw that the Giants traded catcher Joey Bart. Now this kid had so much pressure put on him when drafted by the Giants. He was drafted number 2 overall in 2018. He was considered by the Giants organization to he was basically going to be the heir apparent to Buster Posey. And that didn't quite work out. He had some injury struggles. He just struggled and then never quite. I mean, let's be honest, like who the heck is going to live up to the hype of being, the successor to Buster Posey? So yeah, it didn't quite live up to that for a bunch of reasons, and then recently got traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates, which that's probably I was gonna say it's probably not the first place you want to get traded, but I mean the Pirates are really good. But anyways, Jerry Bart traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates after not quite working out in San Francisco, and Jerry Bart turned around. And what did he do in his first at bat as a Pittsburgh Pirate? He hit a home run. And that's just so awesome to see. It's so awesome to see. And it's so, to see a kid who struggled so much, and then, to basically be shipped off by the team that drafted him and turns around in his first at bat with his new team and hits a home run. And it's just a really cool story. It's one of those stories that makes baseball so special. And here's wishing Joey Bart all the best in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well said. We can't forget that he was a former number 2 overall pick, so the talent is definitely there.
Yep.
It's just all about kind of putting it together for him, and hopefully he can do that in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
For my one last thing, I thought it would be a little bit fun to do this on the show rather than on the social media platform known as X. But the esteemed and amazing producer Tasha had tagged me in a post a few days ago asking about who the original post basically said, who would you put on the Minnesota Twins Mount Rushmore?
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
And producer Tasha said, I'm going to defer that to my favorite Twins fan.
Nice.
So I figured that instead of doing it on X, why not accomplish 2 things? One, give out a shout out to, again, the best producer in the biz, and 2, run through my Twins Mount Rushmore here on the show.
Yes.
So when I was kind of thinking about this, I thought about trying to do it potentially from 2 different angles. Of either players that I have actually watched, or players that just overall in Twins history belong on the Rushmore. Now, I opted for the latter because they are 2 very different Mount Rushmores, and maybe next episode I'll do the Mount Rushmore of players that I actually watched. But with that being said, there is one common denominator between the two, and that is one of the newest members of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Joe Mauer, is on my Mount Rushmore of Twins players in history. Second player goes without saying, I think. Harmon Killebrew absolutely belongs on that Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
Third player for me, I think he would have been one of the greatest, and still is the greatest twin, one of the greatest Twins of all time. Rest in peace to Kirby Puckett. And fourth and finally, it was a very heated debate for me between a couple of different guys. But I had to go with the one and only Mr. Johan Santana.
Yeah, no, I can't find any fault with that list at all. Yeah, I think Joe Mauer is a no-brainer. I think all of them are no-brainers.
Yeah, the hard one for me was, I wanted
Morneau.
to, Justin Morneau came to mind, Torrey Hunter, Tony Oliva. Like
Yeah.
there are a lot of guys that
Man,
belong on that Mount
I
Rushmore.
was gonna say there have been a lot of really good players for the Twins. Damn. No, Harmon Killebrew played for them when they were the Senators, also, didn't he?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, I thought so. When they were one of the iterations of the Washington Senators. One became the Twins, the other one became the Texas Rangers. For all you baseball history nuts out there. Yeah, no, man. That's a great list. I think yeah, picking a Mount Rushmore of players from your favorite team or any sport is no small task. So
it's hard.
It is. It really is. When people are like, "Oh, who's on your, NBA Mount Rushmore?" I'm like, "What? How can you just pick 4 players?" Or, when they with Red Sox Mount Rushmore, I'm like, "What? How can I possibly do that?" So, anyways, all right, everybody. That's all we got for you today. Thanks for tuning in as always. Don't forget you can catch us live here every Sunday on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can also tune in Mondays wherever you get your podcasts, or anytime really, wherever you get your podcasts. At Linktree/8th Inning Stretch. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 8th Inning Pod. And for more, including our newsletter/blog, 2 Strike Count, which you can get delivered right to your inbox every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by subscribing, head to 8thinningpod.com. And don't forget to support the show either using the QR code on your screen or 8thinningpod.com/donate. Yeah, that's all we got for you guys. Real quick, stay tuned. More details coming on the first episode of the Book of Baseball, our brand new baseball documentary series. It is coming along nicely. It is, and we'll hopefully, yes, we will have a release date for the first episode for you very soon. That's all we got for you today. Everybody have an awesome week. And as always, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.